Mayor Mark Sheldon is pushing for a $10 million pedestrian bridge to connect Frank Brown Park to Aaron Besant Park. It's great for music festivals. It's the city's #1 priority this year. They've got a bunch of projects, and they plan to spend $236 million. 2 years ago, the budget for the city was only $42 million. That's why locals are paying so much more in assessments to the city. Mayor Sheldon says it's worth it. After all, he owns Gulf Coast Jam. The city's #1 priority will benefit his music festivals. He wants more state and federal grant money as a slush fund.
These are significant projects that will make a huge difference in our community. The first is to pursue any available state aid for the planning, design, and environmental studies related to a pedestrian bridge connecting Aaron Besant Park and Frank Brown Park. This walkover would link these two public parks and provide a safer avenue for our residents.
Yeah, right. So I saw him today. I went to the Panama City Beach City Council meeting this morning because I really wanted to address the disrespect he's been showing citizens, residents, homeowners who go up there and say, you know, this gigantic restaurant that you unilaterally are bringing in, the construction of it, there haven't been permits properly issued, and it shows because all kinds of pollution is coming into our lake to include, sludge that you don't even know what the hell it is. It's disgusting. They're ruining Low Water Lake on purpose. A coastal dune lake, a precious lake, they're ruining on purpose. And the person who's most invested in it, Molly, she goes up there and talks. She educates. She informs them. She takes water samples. She tells them firsthand what's happening to the lake. And they gaslight her like she's a maniac, like she's a nut. We already saw what they said about her in emails. We got to, what is it? Blow this effing bitch up, throw her in the Gulf, all kinds of nasty, crazy stuff. Yeah, well, we've obtained emails. That's how much they hate you for going up there. There were several people going up there from various neighborhoods. The residents in Bidawee, they're really getting hosed. This parking and mobility survey that the city did, because what they want to do is they don't want you to ever drive your car on Front Beach Road in the scenic, the scenic roadway or whatever. They don't want you to drive. They want to have only trams. They're gonna have like parallel parking, roundabouts, and tram stations where you have to walk to and sit around and wait for public transportation. It's insane. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants it. Now they're talking about eminent domain. Colleen's been worried about that for a long time. They're going to steal people's businesses and property so that they can get grants and check boxes for more grants, so they can award multi-million dollar contracts to their friends who give them kickbacks. The sheriff's office knows this. The FBI knows this, but they have tremendous protection. Whoever's in on it, whoever's got the biggest hand in the cookie jar must be very, very powerful. But it doesn't stop me from going up there and doing my best to defend the residents who are treated like absolute garbage by this condescending prick of a mayor, Mark Sheldon. It's too much for me to bear to watch him act like that when he's a public servant. For him to dismiss you with his arrogant pomposity, nobody in the room likes him. Nobody trusts him. But I am feeling better, though, about a lot of this, because as I tell you, the vibrations that so many of us have brought for so long, I think cracks are developing in the foundation of this protection racket. And you can see it and you can feel it in a lot of places. But what I want to do tonight is I want to show you what I said. It was really, again, I always start off so calm, and then there's smirks and arrogant pomposity just light me on fire. Nobody probably talks to these guys this way. Everybody's afraid of them. How in the hell is everybody afraid of these guys? Well, Bernie, I don't want to lose my job. But whatever it is, I get it. But y'all have a lot more tolerance for seeing people abused by these thieves, by these gaslighters masquerading as public servants. You have a lot more tolerance than I do. Anyway, I'm going to show you these public comments, and I'm going to compare what we're seeing in Bay County with what happened to Kari Lake, the attempted bribe. It's very rare to see somebody with character who says, I cannot be bought. I'm incorruptible in matters of public trust. She said, you're going to have to kill me because I'm not going to destroy my country. Wait till you hear this secret recording that she got that shows the underbelly. And it just reminds me so much of what's going on around here. And everybody knows it, but people go along with the charade. So when we get back, I'm going to start with my public comments. You're not going to want to miss that.
Hand caught in the cookie jar? Sometimes bad habits continue even into adulthood. I'm El Saline, 850-215-0628. Let me help you.
Don't let back pain and neck pain get you down. Find relief at Brown Chiropractic Center on St. Andrews Boulevard in Panama City. Dr. Sherry Brown helps people heal naturally with chiropractic adjustments and deep tissue massage. Call 769-3777. All right, let's go right to my comments first, and we'll go from there. Okay, this was this morning at the Panama City Beach City Hall. All right, let's hit it. Hello, I'm Bernie Thompson. Where I think we need accountability is with you guys, with the board, particularly with you, Mr. Mayor. With the parking and mobility study and the surveys and the feedback, nobody wants that. Nobody wants it. You're ruining Front Beach Road. You're upsetting the people in Bidawee. Nobody's going to use this stupid tram. But you continue to try to make Front Beach Road a place where cars will never be allowed to go. It's outrageous. Who's benefiting from this? How big are the kickbacks? Who's going to get the contracts? Speaking of the contracts, I want to ask you, public record request, please. I'd like any and all documents with the search term T&S Construction Solutions. That's an and with that little symbol, T&S Construction Solutions. Do you know who owns that new company? It started 6 months ago. It's an underground utilities company. I know you know who owns it, Mr. Mayor, don't you? You have a much better poker face than your predecessor, I will give you credit. It's your good friend Jay Trumbull. He's the state senator. He just started 6 months ago an underground utilities construction company, and he's getting a ton of contracts. He cut a line a couple weeks ago, spilled a lot of sewage, raw sewage in Panama City. I want to know how many contracts, subcontracts, he's getting from you guys. Is that the contractor that you were talking about with the utilities? State senator getting all kinds of contracts. He knows as much about underground utilities construction as Joe Biden knows. But you continue to give it to him. Now you're talking about eminent domain. You told us it was a conspiracy theory 5 years ago. You remember that? And now it's about to happen. One thing, Mr. Mayor, that I want to hold you accountable for is the way you treat people. You're not a mobster. You've been making $1 million a year as the owner of Gulf Coast Jam from the TDC money. You are the mayor and you're the owner of Gulf Coast Jam. And now the city's #1 priority is a walkover bridge from Frank Brown Park to Aaron Besson Park. Who benefits the most from that? Is that a conflict of interest? You know it is. You're not a mobster. People are afraid of you. Nobody likes you. Nobody believes anything you say, including everybody in this room, but everybody's afraid to tell you that. And when people come up here and they tell you that you are ruining their homes and their lake, what you said on the radio show about Low Water Lake was a lie from beginning to end, and you know it. And when people come up here and express it, show them some respect. Don't be so dismissive. Are we clear? Are we clear?
Your time's up. Does anybody else have any public comments for today?
I'm watching. I'll be back. You're not a mobster.
You're done.
I am done, and I'm leaving,
Chief.
but you're not a mobster. Behave yourself. You're a servant. Wow. All right, so I'll tell you what happened
Good morning.
there.
Nancy Viejo, 117 Seclusion Drive.
Sorry about this. I'm trying to.
Neighborhood ask again. In light of the recent tornado, my
boy.
husband's admin lost her house
All right,
while
so
sleeping. Her roof.
what I really want to do is get back if I can. I may have to do it this way. Forgive me. All right, we'll go back to it. But what I want to show you is why this went down the way that it went down. Why it is that I'm not going to be able to do it. All right, so the reason that when my time expired, I turned around and said it again is not because, I was trying to big dog or showboat or whatever, It's because the very point I was making, right? Be more respectful, and then he does it. But what he did was he showboated, and you really couldn't see his face, but he was smirking, right? He was smirking, not just at me. Of course, they do what they do to me. They don't have to listen to me, right? But to the next person and to the person before. And I just cannot tolerate when it's kind of like, I'm going to be honest, it's when I went to boot camp. I went to officer boot camp. And, I knew it was going to be miserable, right? And it didn't bother me as bad when the drill instructors were yelling at me. I don't know. I just, bring it, right? But man, it was hard for me sometimes to see some of the drill instructors were fantastic. And then there were others who were a little bit, I don't know, it seemed like they got off on it a little bit too much. And I didn't care when they did it to me. But when they did it to somebody else who, I don't know, it affected a little bit more. And I know that, especially when I was in, the purpose of boot camp, one purpose of boot camp is to get rid of people who aren't strong enough to be in the fighting force. I get it. I'm only telling you that it bothered me more when other people were getting yelled at. It didn't bother me when I was getting yelled at. It just didn't. So what Sheldon did at the end there was he smirked. And so I just took an extra 6 seconds or so and said, you're not a mobster. Behave yourself. You're a servant. You're a public servant. He really didn't like that, but he does like looking over at the chief of police and nodding and being able to send him out. They sent the chief of police, Chief Talamentes, with a little nod. Sheldon sent him after Molly because Molly has discovered one of their weak links. She has discovered something that could stop the whole destruction of Low Water Lake and save the Gulf of Mexico from being polluted. I don't even know what it is yet, but every time she mentions it, boy, they try to shut her up and make her sit down. And the chief of police, of course, Sheldon nods, he goes up there. So anyway, that's what the little extra curricular activity was all about. What I want to do is show you how Mayor Mark Sheldon, and he will follow this law. But he's running for re-election. The election is in April. The local cartel has thrown like $90,000. He doesn't even, if you have to run for office, you have to ask a lot of people to donate to your campaign. It's miserable. I've done it. I did all right, actually. Raised a lot of money for that race. I raised $30,000 for a little old city council seat. Usually takes like $5,000 to win one, $10,000 maybe. But I was running against the cartel, and they had a bunch of under the table money too. But what Sheldon is doing now is, of course, the cartel has bought him a bunch of campaign signs, and they send code enforcement after businesses, after everybody. But look at already where Mayor Sheldon's signs are. They're illegally placed. All these signs are illegally placed. Now, the city has done this for a long time, okay? What they do is whoever their favored candidate is, they allow to put signs in illegal places. Whoever the candidate is, like me or whoever, they will take the signs to City Hall. All right, you can go get them and put them back up where they're supposed to go. So where are they supposed to go? Well, I'll give you an example. This is a great example. They cannot be placed by city law, by city ordinance, by code. They cannot be placed between the road and the power poles. That's the right of way. Okay, they have to be on the other side of the power poles. They can't be between the road and the power poles. That's an illegally placed sign. Code enforcement should pick it up and bring it to City Hall. They don't want to, but I'm going to put an ungodly amount of pressure on them to do the right thing. This sign is also on the wrong side of the power poles. It is in the right of way. It is illegally placed, and so is this one. Now, he thinks he can just tell you to sit down. Code enforcement better not move my signs, but we're going to test that theory. And I, for one, usually I am just one, but I'm going to do all I can to make sure that the residents, the people, all the people, don't have to endure another 4 years of this jackass. Okay? He's a bully. He thinks he's a wannabe mobster. Here are the main reasons why, campaign-wise, why he should not be reelected. Number one, when he took office, it took about $40 million to operate the city. After 4 years, it is, what is it? $240 million. He's increased the operating budget by $200 million in 4 years. It's unbelievable. Number two, he wants to pollute the Gulf with an outfall project that is now north of $50 million, that he lied to the government about to get $17 million, $21 million toward it. They want to drill in the Gulf and discharge stormwater that they're bringing from north of Back Beach Road because they're drying up the wetlands for the St. Joe Company to develop up there. And they're discharging it near the end of the pier. Okay? That's huge. You think the people want that? This group settled a huge racial discrimination lawsuit that they still haven't held the perpetrator accountable. They didn't allow black employees to use the city restrooms. And that's just part of it. That's the kind of people they are. There are a bunch of reasons. Look at the traffic, the flooding. You can go on and on. The fact that the conflict of interest, how about that? The mayor is also the owner of Gulf Coast Jam. He's the concert promoter. He makes $1 million a year and has for 9 years. It's startup money for the music festivals. 9 years. It's TDC money. It's tax money. Conflict of interest? You bet it is. So anyway, I wanted to show you about his illegally placed signs. So if you see signs that are placed like this between the road and the power poles, they're in the right of way. That's an illegally placed sign. Just call Panama City Beach City Hall, report it, send an email. Emails are big. Emails matter. And I'll talk about that more later. But let's go to the this bribe that it's coming from back east. Back east in Arizona. We need you to drop out. We need you to drop out of the Senate race, U.S. Senate race, Kerry Lake. Powerful people back east, they're willing to pay you anything to drop out of the race. You're gonna hear this incredible. These conversations, and this sounds like it was at couldn't have been a restaurant. They wouldn't have done that at a restaurant, but it sounds like they're eating. There are different laws in different states. Let me just tell you this, please, because I don't want you to get in trouble. In Florida, both people have to consent to be recorded, even if it's just audio, okay? If there's an expectation of privacy. In other words, if you call a friend and you record that call and you use that call, you can go to jail for that. If you're in your car and you record somebody and you use that recording, you can go to jail for that, and they'd love to put you in jail for that. But if you are anywhere in the public where the public can see and hear and other recordings are taking place, you can secretly record. You can secretly record conversations at public meetings. You can secretly record conversations outside City Hall in the parking lot. You can secretly record conversations at a restaurant in Florida and use it. But if it's not in a place where there's an expectation of privacy, don't do it. I'm telling you, they'd love to put you in jail for it, they being the local cartel. But in Arizona, this recording, I think Carrie Lake did the recording, and boy, you tell me if this isn't, if this kind of stuff, if you think it's going on around here, and I'll play that for you right after this. It's a hot time in Florida, and my friend Ryan could make sure your air conditioning is running at peak efficiency. He could even install a new one, built to a higher standard, American standard. Find out more at PCAirRepair.com.
You want to look good? You want to feel good? Little John's Big and Tall is where it's at. Right across the street from Sky's Pizza Pie, 5700 North Davis Highway. You can find out more online at littlejohnsbigandtall.com. He's also a member of the iTex trading community, where your iTex dollars are welcome.
All right, let's go right to it. This is from the Megyn Kelly show, and this is the full recording. I don't know, it's not very long, but Carrie Lake is I can't wait for you to hear this. Carrie Lake is running for U.S. Senate. Remember, she had the election stolen from her in Arizona, and nobody gives a flip about it. Oh, Bernie, all the machines were just down. That's all. You have no evidence. There's no evidence. Okay, go take a flying leap. So now she wants to run for U.S. Senate. She's got so much support. Why? Because she's authentic and she can't be bought. Here's proof of it. The guy in the picture was the head of the Republican Party of Arizona. And powerful people back east have told me that we want to pay you a bunch of money to disappear for a couple years. Just go be a talking head. But for God's sake, don't run. We can't seal the border. We can't have a strong border. Watch this. And as you go through this, I'm going to look at your comments. Tell me if this doesn't sound like the backroom deals that go right here in Bay County and Northwest Florida.
This is back east. There are very powerful people that want to keep you out.
I know they do.
But they're willing to put their money where their mouth is in a big way. So, this conversation never happened.
This is crazy, though. They should
listen to this scumbag. I'm playing this tonight because he reminds me so much of Mark Sheldon. These guys would put arsenic in the Gulf if the kickbacks were big enough. They would. I mean, they want to enrich themselves so much that when the fit hits the shan, it won't affect their lives. And so there's no concern about what is right. There's no concern about the people. There's no concern about restoring our liberty and saving our country from total collapse, or our state or our county. None. This scumbag. Listen to this guy and tell me if he's not. God, geez, he's like a carbon copy of Mark Sheldon. Listen.
should want me. I'm a great candidate. People love me. These people are corrupt.
If you say no, which is fine, it's your choice. Don't tell people.
They're gonna try to have me murdered. So what's going on? Who is it? What?
Forget the who. Let me just tell you the what. Let's just say there are people calling around saying, gosh, no, they can't repeat this. Never repeat this. If you say no, don't. If you say, I got offered to buy out. Don't use it.
here's my problem. Rather than just say, let's work with her.
So here's what the guy just said. He's like, look, don't repeat this conversation. Don't tell anybody. I'm taking a real risk telling you this, but they were confident enough that they could buy her off. That if she said $1 billion to stay out of politics for a couple of years, they would have got $1 billion. Would you have said no? What do you think I would have done? We need more people who give a damn.
She's a great candidate because they don't own me, and it pisses me off.
Yeah, I don't know it's about ownership.
It's about control.
I don't know it's about control. It's about being on the team.
But if they're pushing a globalist agenda, I can't do that. So what do they want? What do they want me to do?
You want to stay out for 2 years. But let me tell you what I can offer you. I said, you can do whatever you want. It's a talking head, isn't it? So the ask of me was, it's kind of funny. So the ask I got today from back east was, this has to stick between us. Is there any companies out there or something that could just put her on the payroll and give her, to keep her out? And I said, well, what are you willing to do? Like, whatever we need to do.
Whatever we need to do. Think about this guy. You understand that states are sovereign the way it's supposed to be, right? The states created the federal government, not the other way around. So really, we are Floridians first. And we're united with the other states, these United States. But this guy is a puppet. He thinks we don't have a federal government. He thinks we have a national government. And he thinks the states are provinces of some national power back east. This guy's a traitor. You talk about, but it's important. And I see so many people selling out their states. What did I tell you? It's usually your own people who will destroy their own state, who will destroy you, your own people. Throughout history, that's how it's been. That's what makes it so tragic.
This is about defeating Trump. And I think that's a bad, bad thing for our country. DeSantis is not America first. This is about the final death blow to Trump. And I don't think that's good for our country.
And you don't love Trump. I mean, I love Trump.
It's not good for our country, Jeff.
I think what it really comes down to for a lot of people, it's not really about like control or agenda. It's just about the ability to raise money to win.
Whoa.
You know, if you really want to know, all of politics boils down to money, I think. And even on their end, like what makes them the most money?
I know. All these consultants don't want their payday to end. And I don't want to make a deal with these kind of people. This is a hill worth dying on. I'm not, if they're going to steal the election to make me and our movement go away, I'm not letting them do that. I owe it to the people of Arizona
Or
to carry their torch and their voice.
Or you don't go away, but you pause.
This is the battles right now, Jeff.
You pause, and you fill your coffers.
No, the battle is right now.
It's a back scratching club. That's all DC is. It's a big back scratching club. You're in no position to scratch anybody's back, and you've already made it known that if you get there, you're not going to scratch anybody's back. Where are we in 2 years if they steal the election again?
Listen to what you're saying. Why don't we do something about it so that we the people can pick our...
What can we do?
I'm not willing to accept that. Then I'm going to be the biggest pain in these people's... Go back and tell them that. I'm running, and I'm going to be the biggest pain in their...
I'm willing to tell them that.
And they're going to have to kill me to stop me.
I know, look. And
You don't have to tell them that, but I don't think they will, but...
I don't think that's the way they are.
I'm offended by whoever these people are that they're trying to buy me out of.
Well, you should be...
Hey, everyone.
Oh, damn it. Oh, my gosh. All right, let me go back to that spot. I got excited because this is the most incredible part here. She said, I'm offended that they would try to bribe me. And this is Mark Sheldon. Why would you be offended? You should be flattered. They think that you're powerful enough that they want to buy you, to pay you off. That's an accomplishment. You should be flattered. This is who we have on our county commission, city council, sheriff's office, state attorney's office. These kinds of people.
And I'm willing to tell them that.
And they're going to have to kill me to stop me.
I know, look.
You don't have to tell them that, but I don't think they will, but
I don't think that's the way they are.
I'm offended by whoever these people are that they're trying to buy me out of.
Well, you should be honored.
But I'm offended that there's people back there who just don't get about our country.
Do you understand though? You should be honored. That means they know how powerful you are. Just to say, is there a number at which
I can be bought.
not be bought?
That's what it's about.
You can take a pause for a couple years.
No.
And then go right back to what you're doing.
No. 10 million, 20 million, 30, no. A billion, no. This is not about money. This is about our country.
What would you say?
I don't want to deal with people like this. These people are un-American, and I think they're unethical, and I would be absolutely immoral if I did that.
Again,
that's immoral. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror.
Exactly.
If I, you know.
it's very powerful people that are willing to, they really want.
See, I was told by somebody, and I'm going to save this person's, you'd be surprised, but then you wouldn't be surprised, but it's probably 7 years ago or so. Somebody, a big shot said, I'm surprised no one's ever offered to sort of pay you off, Bernie. But he didn't say it that way. He said it's sort of like, I don't know, hire you, sponsor you. I don't remember what the term was. And this person said, that's usually what's done first around here is when you become a problem, they make you an offer. And for the few who don't accept that offer, their, magnanimous gesture, then it becomes legal warfare. Usually they'll sue the hell out of you, try to slander you. And then they ramp it up. They'll arrest you, hurt your family, hurt your livelihood, commit tortious interference, intimidate your sponsors, punch your sponsors in the face, arrest your sponsors, this kind of thing. Surround your home, try to murder you. But before all that bad stuff, usually it's something like this, Bernie. I've never had that offer. I should be mad. I wasn't honored with an offer like that. Or maybe it's just because they know damn well what I would do. Hey, Bernie, why don't you take a bunch of money and say what we want you to say? Guess what my next show would be? This stuff matters. Your legacy in this life matters. Your name matters. What you do to make it a better world. Why were you made? Why are you here? Why are you alive? What does God want from you? I think a lot, but I think it's good stuff. And for Carrie Lake, it's easy to say, hell no. I got to say one thing, though. Part of me thinks, well, it was her. She recorded it. Never mind. I had a theory, but I don't think it's going to work out. So let's go back to this ending here.
Someone different. They want new names, whatever it is.
I love you, but I got to get working.
All right. I appreciate it.
I'm just... can't believe this. I think you should go public with this and then say, hey,
no.
These people don't want to, they don't want,
Then I turned my key in my car and I go,
I'm offended that they don't care about our country more.
I actually wish you'd just give me a counter offer this big. Give me a counter.
I can't be bought.
Come on.
There you go. Wow. I mean, we know, but now, to see, and here's something that bothers me a little bit. I mean, it happened, and it's kind of becoming, people are kind of becoming numb to being shocked about these things, right? And there used to be a time where if you got caught doing something like that, and I know that guy resigned and all that stuff, but it seems like there's nothing too much. Look at Ricky Ramey, the chief of police for Lynn Haven, what he was caught doing. Look at what Sheriff Ford and the FBI told a judge in 2021, that Bay County is more corrupt than New Jersey and New Orleans. Bernie, we did not say that. It was the representative for for Crowder Gulf who told the FBI that. Yes, but you guys, and you were working with the FBI, you were bragging about that, Sheriff Ford. You're going to clean up public corruption. I know the FBI presented the search warrant affidavit, and the FBI told the judge that, but you put it in there as part of your reasons for needing a search warrant on GAC contractors. So yes, you told the judge that Bay County is more corrupt than New Orleans and New Jersey. And yet not a single person has been arrested or held accountable. And now Sheriff Ford is saying, reelect me, and I'll overflow the jails more with people who didn't commit crimes or maybe had a bag of weed, and we'll let the bad guys go, especially if the bad guys are my sponsors and my benefactors. That's why, when the country collapses, and you say, how did this happen so fast? You won't have to look far, is what I'm saying. So Kari Lake, that's incredible, but I just saw so many similarities between that head of the Republican Party in Arizona and Mark Sheldon. And by the way, notice, for those partisan people, must say, of course it's a Republican, the GOP, all they care about is money. Man, y'all don't realize that it's more about the insiders versus the outsiders than it is Republicans versus Democrats. There is that. But man, it's the insiders and the outsiders. And if you're a Democrat and you would have made excuses for that because you never, ever, ever, ever criticize another Democrat, then you're part of the problem too. It is easy as hell for me to criticize a Republican or a Democrat because that is not what I'm looking at. I'm not clinging to a team victory. It's not what it's about. Boy, just being around Mark Sheldon, the mayor of Panama City, and everybody knows it, is so slimy. You feel like you got to just take a shower when you leave that dude. I mean, he's really the worst of the worst. But WMBB loves to report, remember, he's got a nonprofit called Panhandle Strong. Mark Sheldon has a nonprofit called Panhandle Strong. I wonder what Panhandle Strong does.
In Panama City Beach, I'm Tom Lewis, News 13, Panhandle Strong.
Wow. Okay. He was at Gulf Coast Jam too, Tom. Huey Lewis in the news too, by the way. Thank you to the Unknown Patriot for your support of my efforts, and to all of you who throw a tip in the tip jar by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Bernie Thompson. It is easy. You can quit at any time, and it's anonymous. And I know that's important for a lot of you. All right, I'll be back. Got lots more for you. I'm going to be posting a video of my confrontation with Mayor Sheldon a little bit later.